Dan back here from the Geek Physique with my awesome client James. He's just finished his first challenge with us, and we're going to review his amazing transformation he's had in the challenge. So, first of all, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, really good, thank you. It's been a fun challenge.
Yeah, amazing. And why don't you just let's kick off kind of from the beginning, James. Where were you at before you started the challenge?
So I was quite heavy weight wise. I was reasonably fit in terms of like I could do walking and upstairs and things. I walk regularly with like the dogs and to and from work and stuff. So steps wise, I was probably around kind of averaging 10 to 12,000 a day. But I'd never been really to the gym since I was a child. It's not the sort of place that I really kind of enjoy going or confident going to, especially not like lifting weights. Always kind of pursued other types of activity like swimming or cycling or that sort of stuff. Um, but unfortunately, I'd really bad eating habits had led to kind of me putting on quite a lot of weight over the last few years. So I was around 95 kilos, I think, which is about 14 and a bit stone. So quite heavy. And then I had some recently. I've had kind of some stuff with the doctor to say that I need to get some of that bit under control. So higher blood pressure, some high sugar levels. So moving in a bit of a diabetic region as well. High cholesterol. So really some really kind of high warning signs that I need to do. It was taking a bit of a toll. So I needed to do something about it. So that was where I started. Yes, probably eating what I wanted when I wanted to, and not doing enough exercise to counterbalance that.
Got you. And you touched on some crucial points there that we hear a lot from other guys, mate. And I'd love to hear your kind of view on what helped you overcome some of that. So one of the points you touched on was, not feeling confident going to a gym,
Mhm.
and you've been smashing through the workout. So what do you think was helpful for you to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it was really helpful to have someone set out a training plan. That's a really good starting point because I think if I'd had to kind of just do that myself, I probably wouldn't have known where to start. I probably would have started with a bit of gym induction and then floundered a bit. And I think also the app itself was very helpful with the kind of videos because it is quite weird not having someone physically present with you in the gym showing you how to use equipment, especially if you've never used it before. It's a bit daunting, but the videos were really helpful because you could then watch them multiple times to see how someone's using the equipment, what the equipment looked like, because also that wasn't always easy. I remember the first time going in trying to find one of the pieces of equipment. I think it was the row, and it didn't really look like the video, and I'm wandering around the gym trying to find this piece of equipment, hoping I'll find it. And also, it's all very new, just kind of using equipment at all. So having those videos, having a clear structure was very helpful. I think also I had to come at it quite cautiously at first because obviously you don't want to kind of pick up something and it's too heavy or overexert yourself and end up injuring yourself, and then you're not able to kind
For
of then
sure.
continue exercise. So I started small and I didn't feel any pressure from the plan necessarily to say, oh, you should be starting at this weight and you should be lifting that weight. So I felt quite relaxed in that sense. The structure was there, but it wasn't a huge amount of pressure to suddenly jump in and start lifting heavy weights and things, which I think was good. Um, and then I think in terms of like motivating through the fact that you've got something to log your progress in there is really helpful. The fact that we have those regular check-ins to make sure it wasn't a driving force, but it is helpful for someone to be checking in, making sure you're doing everything. is like an extra pair of eyes to make sure you're not going astray. And I think the other thing that I've been finding really useful is I mean, it's a lot of blogging, but in a way that is really helpful is the nutrition app. Is it MyFitnessPal?
Yes.
And that has been really useful, especially around the diet. And so setting those kind of goals around the percentage breakdown between protein, carbohydrates, fats was really helpful. Because it just drew my attention a bit more to the balance. I mean, the protein target is incredibly difficult for me because I don't eat meat.
Got
So
you.
although I'm a pescatarian, so I'm reliant on fish and some veggie stuff to kind of make that up. So I do struggle with that. And I also really struggled with the water consumption because I was literally a no water all day type of person. So 2.5 liters a day is quite significant shift. But tracking those and having not a massive reduction in calories, but having something in there was good because it meant that it wasn't complete stopping eating anything at all, which obviously is very difficult to maintain over any length of time. But because the app was there, I was able to quite often go below my goals. So in terms of calorie, I've not seen that as the limit I should be eating. I've seen that's a limit I should be under.
Yeah.
So quite often I am a good chunk under that. And the app allows you to see you averaging over a week. And also because I've got these other concerns around something like blood sugar level and obviously salt is important, consumption, though the fact that I can then see the sort of foods and how they're contributing to some of the other kind of nutrition information is really helpful because then you can say, oh, actually, no, I should really be cutting more back on salty foods. And I think in terms of the general guidance from you was around moving towards less of that processed food, which was obviously a lot more convenient and tasty, to fruit and veg and a bit more kind of straight from the garden, as it were, rather than really processing the food before I eat it. It's just making me think a bit more carefully about how I'm going to
Amazing.
construct my meals for the day because you've got a limit, so you've got to kind of make that count to both make sure you don't overshoot those goals, but also you can enjoy the food throughout the day. Don't want to
Amazing.
waste it on something that's very high calorie and might be really nice for about 3 minutes, and then you spend the rest of the day suffering for it.
It's like, would you agree it's kind of like looking at your banking app where you think like, oh damn, look at that thing I'm spending so much money on each month. Is it really worth it? And then when you understand your calories, like when you understand your food from a numbers perspective, it's like, is that okay? It's tasty in the moment, but is it really that worth it? Do you think it helped you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
see
it
food
is
like that?
budgeting. It is absolutely budgeting. And also really, it's a bit like shopping around as well because you could go for a more expensive item, but you could also shop around and find it much cheaper elsewhere. And I guess by like swapping out, for example, things that are like protein, which are, as you say, they're kind of a bit more filling. They're still very tasty, so it's not that they don't taste good. But they're going to be, you can eat a lot more of it. So actually, you're feeling fuller and you're feeling more satisfied more generally rather than having some sort of quick treat that probably I still really want because it's quite difficult to break away from that. And there's been occasional points where I've just thought
Good.
I'm just gonna go for it. It doesn't matter. It's a day. But yeah, just generally just being mindful of it has been really really helpful.
Amazing.
And it is the combination of those two plus increasing general exercise. So making sure step counts going up as well, which I think was also really useful because it wasn't prescribed. It wasn't like, oh, you have to be running or you have to be going for a 20-mile cycle. It wasn't because if it's too much, if it's too many things, I've got quite a busy work schedule and quite busy social life as well. It becomes unmanageable, and then it just becomes all about the exercise and the diet, and
How
if it's sacrificing other things too much, then it's not sustainable long term either.
It's a really good point, and I just want to stay on this point, James. How long would you say you were spending in the gym each week?
Before I started,
Oh no, no, with the
oh,
workouts we set out for you.
um, probably. So I'm going twice a week, and I'm probably in there for about, if I'm really on it, an hour. Sometimes it's more like hour 20. It depends on how distracted I am in between sets, and yeah. But I think the thing that I've been trying to do is do it before I go into work, because I go to a
Yes,
gym that's right across the road. So I'm in the gym for 7, and I think you picked up on some of my sleeping habits are a bit crazy, but that's because I have to get up at 4:30 to get there.
right.
So it's quite intense in those days. But actually, I felt really good on the back of those gym sessions, because I'm still in work before 9 o'clock, and it's out the way, it's done, which is more, I think if I had it after work and you're already a bit tired, and you kind of just want to go relax, it's not the right time of day, and it means that I'm straight out of the house. I've had some water but no breakfast, and then into the gym on the back of that. It's quite a good, routine. I think I've had to be flexible on the days because I'm not in the office every day. So sometimes that moves around, and I think we were ambitious. I think probably at one point I said I'd do one day of the weekend, but I've never gone to the gym on the weekend, because I don't come to work on the weekend. So it tends to be, I'm always a day late or something at least. Um,
But
yeah. So
do you think it is keeping that in mind? Would you say that doing the 2 days a week, about an hour each time, do you think that is like flexible and sustainable for you with your wider routine so you can still enjoy your social life and still get your work done?
Yeah, I think what I because the other thing it does is it allows me some time to do another thing that's not gym related, so maybe another exercise thing. So I was hoping to go swimming, because I get access to a pool in my gym membership, but the pool's been shut, and they
Uh,
keep promising it's going to be open, but they've got like
Dangling the
some really
carrot.
well, they've got like some weird opening hours where they open it for
Okay,
an hour on one day, and it's like at lunch or something, and then the next day it's open for 2 hours, but it's at 8:30 at night, and then another
strange.
day it's open. Yeah, so I'm waiting for that too, because they've had a big refurbishment. So when that's back open, I think if I'm in more than 2 days, I'll probably top it up with a bit of a swim or something, which is good bit of cardio exercise, which I quite enjoy, and something just different, because
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to be in the gym every day. I do see people in the gym who are clearly there every day, because it doesn't matter which days I flex in there, they seem to be in there same time every morning, and they're obviously enjoying that. And maybe that's something I might need to consider shifting, over time, if I want to kind of become bigger in terms of muscle and stuff. And I guess that's something we could discuss about next steps. But at the moment, I'm not quite there. I'm enjoying this enough
Good.
as it is, without having to feel that I need to be in. I haven't got the bug to be in there 7 days a week. I mean,
And I think that's perfect. Like one thing I think is common across all the guys in our community is same as me. I'm doing another sport alongside the gym. So like you can still get great progress and you don't have to be in there all the time, right?
mm,
Um, we've touched on, you mentioned a great deal about the food and we've talked a lot about the training. You touched on the support a little bit, but do you think it was helpful having the accountability to keep you on track?
um, I can be quite disciplined when I put my mind to it, which is interesting, because obviously I was quite out of control at the beginning. So it really is about being just reining myself in.
Got
When I
you.
do that, and I'm focused on it, I am focused on it. So I don't think I drew down on the support as much as it was there available. So, for example, quite often you'd have your traffic light days, and I've always been green because I have been pretty much on track. I think what was quite helpful was so I've never been able to make the calls, but the fact that the notes come through and I can watch them later with the advice about what I could be focusing on have been helpful. Um, so that has been useful. Accountability. Um, I don't think there was any kind of points where I needed someone else to rein myself in. And I guess if I've been out of control, that might have been different. I might have needed to reach out for some help,
Sure.
but I've been able to kind of keep it together
Good. No, that's
over the challenge, which is good. So it's
yeah. I think for someone like you, James, it's just pointing you in the right direction, and then you just shoot, and
Mhm.
you can nail it, which is great. What I'd love to do now, mate, if you're okay with it, is share your wins because
Okay.
it is a different man in the mirror, and I'm just so happy for you, man. I think it's amazing. So what I'm going to do is share my screen, and we can go through it if that's all right.
Yep.
So let me just get this ready and we'll go through some of this. So I want to start first of all with your weight. So let me just share my screen. Where are we? Share screen. It might be a bit small on your phone, mate, but the viewers at home will be able to see it, which is okay. Just move us over here. So
Yep.
you can see that James started about 93.9 and most recent weigh-in was 81.5. And you shared in the group today that you're 2 stone down, which is just
Mhm.
unbelievable, man. How are you feeling about the change in your weight?
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's slightly problematic because I am having to completely change my wardrobe, which which is not cheap particularly. And but it is quite nice because I did have some clothes left from when I because this isn't the first time I've been slimmer, but I've had some clothes that I can get back into, and people are like, oh, you got like new clothes and things. Actually, these are just clothes that I've not been able to fit into for some time. People are regularly commenting because I think it's not just the fact that I've lost weight, it's also it's been quite rapid. The change, and I know it's not too rapid in terms of it's been a safe journey in terms of the amount probably is okay in terms of the recommended amount of weight to lose each week. Um, but people, really are noticing the difference, and it does feel nice to have compliments and to look in the mirror and feel um, that I look better. I do look better. I look healthier. I'm slimmer, which is nice. I'm looking kind of better because I can wear nicer fitting clothing as well.
For sure.
Um, yeah, so definitely seeing the kind of the difference, and that's motivating, I think, in itself because when you can see something visibly changing, and also because those three times a week weighing at least, which are good because I think sometimes I've done it before where it's every single day, and then you do have little daily blips, don't you?
Yeah,
And
you're always going to fluctuate.
that can be quite frustrating in the moment,
Yeah,
but 3 times a week is enough, I think. And no, it's great, and I think I've had a small little slight upward trend again, but I think it's been very minor, but it's pretty much been
smooth
downhill.
sailing.
Yeah, I think because I had a goal, and I've met that, so I've kind of set myself a slightly more some more weight to lose in the not very much. I think it's another 5 kilos to kind of get to where I probably would like to be in terms of weight. And I guess that will, if I start to put any kind of muscle mass on, I might have to review what that might be something I need help with to understand that because I've not
Sure.
ever been particularly muscular. I've been slim before, so I appreciate kind of weight slightly different then. But yeah, no, it feels great.
Amazing. And that kind of brings me on to your measurements, nearly 5 inches down on your waist, mate. I mean,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
my trousers are definitely feeling it. I've had to get out some hardcore belts to rein some of that extra fabric in. Yeah, I mean, if I've literally had to go and buy new clothes. I've gone. I was wearing kind of 34-inch waist stuff, sometimes a bit bigger. And I'm now. I mean, I don't know. I'm in a fitting into kind of the 33 inch now. So, and some of that's starting to get a bit baggy. So yeah, big difference,
Amazing.
I think. Um, and I think generally it's all moved in the right direction. I mean, I think I've noticed a little bit of like muscle starting to come through. Um, but obviously that not massive at the moment. I think a lot of the effort's been going into to losing the body fat.
Yeah, for sure. And that brings us on to your picture changes, mate, which I'd love to show if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
So look at this. Look at the difference. I mean, amazing. I just think it's inspiring, man. Not just for me, but I think for the other guys in the community and hopefully for the viewers at home that, if you do put your mind to it, like you said, right, you don't have a problem being focused when you've got the right plan. You've got the
Mm.
right plan and you're focused on it. Look at what you can achieve,
It's been good. Good. Definitely seen a difference. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's a bit of a generous. I think I've still got a little bit of work to go, but
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it's significant difference, isn't it, in that time frame?
for sure. And
Pictures,
have you
pictures, pictures were hard. I think that
yes.
was also something that's easy. When you put on the weight, it's easy to kind of wear bigger clothes and sort of ignore it. But to have to take photos of yourself in the underwear and stuff and share that's quite challenging really, because it makes you kind of focus on it.
Yes, but how good does it what I tell people is you are if you don't do the pictures, you're robbing yourself of what other people see. If you haven't seen a friend for a while and you have a bit of a glow up and they're like,
Mm.
what happened to you? That you're not going to get that effect because you see yourself every day in the mirror. The changes are
Mhm.
marginal. And when you look back, and then now imagine you continue on this journey, it's like I'm a different man. Like it's deeper than kind of appearance. It's like it goes a level deeper to you just feel different about yourself.
Mm.
And it's kind of just a symbol of the hard work you've put in, I think, for sure. Amazing, man. Well, what I wanted to ask you, just um like any more last remarks or anything you would say to someone who's say in a similar position that you were when you started and they're considering doing something like this, what would you say to them, mate?
I think I would say like it really really is worth just giving it a go, because if you're kind of a similar position to where I was, you probably know that something's got to change and you want to do something about it. And I think something like this is got the right level of support and the right structure to kind of get you motivated and get you started on the journey. Um, and if you're willing to put in that hard work with that support in place, then you're going to see results. You're going to see the benefit. And in the grand scheme of things, the challenge was 10 weeks. It's not a very long time. It's not even 3 months. It's what have you got to lose really?
Amazing, man. Thank you for your
Apart from some pounds maybe.
exactly. No, thank you so much for your hard work, man. Your consistency has been stellar, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.